Good afternoon, everybody, on the homosexual server. I am your host, Josh, from Korean Central Television. Here is the great leader. And today, we have the crucible of democracy in our midst. Today, we have two candidates facing off to be the president of this fine server. Not as good as home. God bless our glorious leader. But anyway, we have at the table today many different news organizations representing multiple different countries from around the world. We have the BBC News. Banger. We also have Channel 5. It doesn't have a noise thing, so we're just gonna make one up. Yeah, will do. CNN is joining us as well.
Oh, I can't wait to touch this little boy.
The Cormac News Network providing stellar news as always. We also have, from the fine corners of the internet, a man from Buffalo, New York, Daniel Keem and his Drama Alert.
Stop, Drama Alert Nation! I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's go into the news!
And there, the dulcet tones of Daniel Keem, known as the rodent to many. And then we have Sky News.
It's only a game. Why you have to be
I didn't even get to click my unmute button. What was happening, kid?
And today, all of our esteemed journalistic candidates, not candidates, fucking, what's the word? Audience, we are going to move on to the candidates at hand. Today we have two fine candidates brought to us by the vote held in this horrible shithole place. We have candidate Murphy.
What is happening, Sean?
Proclaimed by many to be a fine young gentleman. A fine specimen. He just enjoys a drink. And we also have a man of the people for the second candidate. A man who could probably outsmoke me. Or Nelson.
Yeah, boy!
You gonna wake Paul?
And today, we have the floor today to ask these two fine candidates multiple questions and see, by the end of it, who will be the leader of the homosexuals. Obviously until Tiernan decides he wants to coup them.
Go,
But
Jordan!
irregardless of this, we now move on to the questions. The questions have been fielded from various forms of candidates, mostly Adam's DMs on Snapchat, but we will forget that. And we will get on to these fine questions, coming from multiple different places. The first one coming from the Cormac News Network. I can't read. Candidates. How would you deal with a possible case of racism in the server? As an example, if a person of colour is being prejudiced or harassed, how would you deal with this? First one I'm going to throw it to is candidate Murphy.
Thank you, Josh.
The Turkish.
That there is the pitch coming from Mr. Nelson, who will now no longer be able to go to Ankara, or any Turkish city for that matter, bless them. But we shall move on, for there are multiple questions. Democracy is not just one question. The second question, coming from the current Führer of the server, or glorious leader, Tiernan, because if you make a mistake as president, you lose, you die. Currently, the server is going for a democratic role. Will there be any changes in the political status on the server, for example? Will the candidates stay on the side of democracy? Or shall they venture over towards communism, fascism, monarchism, many different forms of isms and tisms? Will this server stay a democratic server, or will it be Hijacked. For this first question, candidate Nelson shall have the floor.
Okay, so my stance on that question is I believe that we should be completely democratic. I don't believe that any of our tisms or activisms or smallisms should be brought into the equation, right? I believe fair and judgmental judicial systems should be put in place. I guess that's the word. No, for example, whenever somebody has an allegation, a problem, right, we should be putting them into a call together and we should be making them settle their differences. Bit like a fight, but without the fighting.
Rather progressive touch. Rather progressive touch there from the candidate. And now we move it on
I did not
to
understand
Mr.
one word of
Murphy.
that.
Anyway,
I didn't understand any word of it either. That's why I tried.
It was quite close. It was actually not too bad. To Mr. Murphy.
thank you, Josh. Again. I believe in the same thing as Jordan does here with the allegations and such. However, I think we should be a democracy of not just the smallest people, but also the higher people too. Everyone should get a say in what should be changed and what should be added in the server. I feel as if everyone should have an equal right to vote for what they want and what they please.
Quite a forward-facing touch. A
He's got my
democratic
vote.
bastion we have found ourselves in. No room for socialism, unfortunately. You evil bastards! The North Korean TV will be having its way, but I cannot speak for my masters. What we have is two men standing for the democratic right. So, we move on to the next question. By our Robert, bless his heart. The only presidential debate night question. How will you fulfill your... oh, fuck, hold on, I can't read. For these fucking things on. Fucking Minecraft gods, I can't fucking see the way for raves. My question is... Robert. How will your role as president change anything about the server? What services are you willing to provide? And how will this benefit the server and the people within it? For this, I'll give it the R. Christopher first.
Thank you again, Josh. Fuck you, the RTA. Right, anyway, so, I think the role that we filled, whether it becomes me or Jordan, we will fill it well, because we know what is right and what should be enforced and what not should be enforced. We will make sure any word that we get tossed will be we put up to the higher ups above us and be questioned about. This will ensure majority votes over what can happen and what won't, and we'll have complaints that we will surely deal with.
Okay.
Quite an important thing on the ballot. Pretty good answer, I would say. That would be moved on now to to candidate Nelson. See how
Thank
he
you.
deals with it.
So, I just want to let everybody know that I believe that we should all be fairly treated, as Christopher says. Any problems, as he says, we should be brought to us and decided what happens, between the president and the admin, as there is actually no higher up person than the president, as Christopher should know. No, know what I mean? So I believe that we should all get a choice and a say in everything rather than just the higher ups.
Yeah.
Rather than just the presidents and the admins. I believe that even the lower people, even just like Adam, do you know what I mean? Because he's at the bottom of the tree. Do you know what I mean?
May I interject for a moment?
Oh, we have an interjection.
Oh,
We
well, that's
have an
okay.
interjection, ladies and gentlemen.
When you say there's no higher role than the president, in the physical term, yes, we are at the top of whatever the server's rules are.
Yeah.
However, the higher ups are the ones with the power. The president gets the
Yeah,
power
no, I
rights
understand.
not to change.
Yeah, I get that there, but what my point is that
Well, they're
there's no
Illuminati.
there's no real higher up than yourself and the admins. So the higher up is between you and the admins, and there's no point saying you can go to chat to people that's higher up than yourself whenever you are in that there circle of higher people. Do you know what I'm saying?
But it still makes people feel more
TIA for the
confidence.
win.
If
The
you-
secret police are being called out here. If this happened back home in Korea, we would be shot for such crimes.
Yeah.
My God!
Listen, I understand.
I love democracy.
I already explained this in my video for a presidential election. That I cut this part out because it'd be over 2 minutes and 40 seconds, so fuck's sake. Anyway, what I said in the video that I cut out was, I said, even though
Man's just here for clout.
Fuck off. Anyway, as I said in the video,
Language.
here, I believe that we should have a
Objection.
right to speak. our word and what we want. If you don't
I'm
support
moderating.
that, I do not respect that.
No,
People
I
should respect
support
their
what you're
word.
saying there, now, Christopher. But what I was just trying to make a point forward of my own claim. Okay, apologize
There's
for.
two very separate points coming from the candidates here, quite similar. But I've broke it down to basically Christopher keeping thing as the status quo of having the managers and all dealing with the issues at hand and consulting the people. Jordan's going for a more revolutionary method of why not let the people decide themselves.
See,
Two very different points here.
Up Holy
But two very-
Cross.
We have to see which one wins. Whoever picks who will have the choice.
as
The next question
oh, okay.
we'll be moving on to because fuck you.
Take off your
I hate
glasses,
this
this time.
shit. Yes, I can fucking see. Shit. We've got 3 from Christopher. He's on it tonight, boys. He's got 3 questions, but we'll go through one at a time.
Rigged.
Fucking son.
Le
No,
précédent.
listen. Any of the questions I did not think of, by the way, they were sent to me, and I sent them straight to Adam.
Alright,
No
the first
proof.
one's already been asked. So, second question. There's actually 4. I'm retarded. I can't read. Anywhere where we're with.
Dyslexic.
Is, even though it's our 4th, will you make an oopsie as president?
That was me.
An oopsie. A big no-no, a fucky-wucky, an oopsie-daisy. A big mistake, a no-no. Candidate Nelson.
So, I will not be making no oopsies, no flopsies, no dopsies, no tipsies, no topsies. The only thing that I'll be bringing to the table is fair and honest marketing, and fair and honest trade, and fair and honest.
That's my mayor.
What? Sorry, I like to hear the people's.
That's my mayor.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes,
You're
I want to
Tyler
bring fair
Shep.
trade to the people. I want to make sure everybody gets a fair go at everything. There's no point having an elite
What the
system
Sigma?
where people are decided by elite people. Everybody should be getting a decided vote and everything.
Up
That's just-
Rosa Parks.
You're Tyler
Yes,
Shep.
Rosa Parks.
So much talk of egalitarianism and equality, a communist would blush. Next to Christopher.
Oh,
Thank you,
Christopher.
You. Anyway, I believe in the same rights as Jordan does over here. I believe everyone else. Shut your fucking mouth. I swear down. I'll take it back and beat you a sledgehammer. Anyway.
Unoriginal ideas.
The police state being
Unoriginal.
shown here. We like to see
Ice
it.
Queen Tommy.
Unoriginal.
Anyway, listen. I believe in the same things as Jordan does over here. He's a good man. If I don't get voted, I'm happy he's gonna get voted.
Man supports the UDF. Man supports the UDF.
He's a Protestant.
No, I
He
support,
looks like a B special.
No, I support the Irish Republican Arm. They know how to
Arm?
do
The Irish
this.
Republican Arm.
Irish
Yes.
Republican Arm.
Yes.
The Irish Republican
Man
Arm.
definitely supports
and
the
the Ulster Defence
PIRA.
Force.
Now listen, I will not make no oopsie, no toopsie, no ipsy dipsy doopsie, lads. I will make sure this server stays right, and I'll make sure everyone gets their word to every single powerful being. No matter
So,
if I think it's wrong, no matter if anyone else thinks it's wrong, it will still go up and be decided.
Eve, so we have a
I
question
can actually
of
kind of respect that.
people deciding in this if they don't do if buts or maybes, but they do absolutes.
Yes.
If their auntie had balls, wouldn't they be their uncle?
Yes. If you're
But
gonna
they
have
don't,
balls, should be your
So they
grandpa.
didn't.
Is that a line
You know
from
what I'm trying to
Matilda?
say?
If you're gonna have
Because
balls,
Sadio
should be your
Mane.
grandpa.
But anyway, less of the football, more of the politics. God forbid I spend my life doing
It's the
this
same
shit.
thing.
I hope I'm never ever a fucking radio host or anything, because I would shoot myself in the head. Another question! Coming from the popular vote.
Go Robbie Williams.
If you died, and you seen the pearly gates of heaven, or St. Paul, or Peter, I can't remember which one, is stood there, St. Peter, and he says to get into heaven, but a good enough Catholic or Protestant, or, I don't care what you are, your whole life, but you have to do one thing! One small, tiny detail before you enter past the pearly gates and see the family that you've been waiting for all these years and all those dead dogs. You have to eat a live mouse.
Okay.
A what?
A live rodent mouse.
Grand.
A mouse.
Not the tank. Not the tank called mouse. A mouse. With the little fingers and the little hands and the.
Aye, I would eat
the
mouse no
paws,
bar.
and they go. What is the candidate's ideas of what is their reaction to such a quote? Obviously, Jordan just answered, but I'll give him the floor. I'll give him the floor if he wants to expand.
I would just say,
You can have my floor.
I would say, Mr. St. Peter, sir, Mr. St. Peter, I would love that mouse. I would say, can I please take a bite of that arsehole of the mouse? And do you know what I mean? I would love to get into heaven. It's a mouse. You know what I
Losing
mean?
your point here.
Right,
Like-
okay. That's
So-
about them.
It's for the people. Do you know what I mean? It's for the
Eating
people.
rat batty for the people. A
Like,
thing I
it-
never thought I'd
Can't
ever
get
hear. but
more
anyway.
noble than that.
I've
Yeah,
said
cannot
my
get
point.
much more noble
You
than
You can eat my
trash.
ass.
People, I'll eat
Right.
rat ass
Who said
for
this
the
one?
people. It's only fair.
You
I've
rat
said-
ass for the people.
I've
And
said
we
more
also
points.
now we move it
Well,
on
that's
to
scandalous.
Christopher and see what he would do with the scrannage that has been handed into him.
You see, I find it'd be a trick question because why would heaven make you want to eat one of their beautiful creatures? They pass into the afterlife.
Unfortunately
Beautiful.
for me, I am not the man who
Religious
question-
prick.
That's
He
my
believes in
friend.
God.
Well, you have a
No.
problem with the man with the question,
No.
you'll have to ask him, and that's
No.
going to be quite hard.
No, listen, that's not the message I'm trying to get across here. The message is
I prefer Harry Potter.
why would I sacrifice something else for my own gain when I can sacrifice myself for that rat's life or mouse's life?
But no, I have to.
A man willing to sacrifice himself
Is he
for a
just,
road
is he
to
just
the
talking
gates
about
of
killing
heaven.
himself?
A selfless candidate.
Suicide.
He's suicidal.
He's suicidal.
No, boys,
He's
listen,
not going to
listen,
heaven.
listen,
Maybe the
stop,
presidency might
stop.
get voted in and not last too long. God
No,
knows,
listen,
CIA might
listen,
pop him.
Listen, the message is,
Objection.
no, whenever you're if you're at the pearly gates, are you not already dead? I will sacrifice my will to get to
Aye,
heaven before that rat's
It's like
life or mouse's life.
it's either heaven or hell, isn't it? Like, know what I mean? Like, if they give you a rat, you're top of the food chain.
It's just
Mhm.
getting very dark,
I mean,
boys.
hold
It's
on,
always
I
hold
will
on,
say
hold on.
this. Technically, there is a third option of purgatory where you just sit there forever and do nothing, which
I've
is
noticed
basically
something.
my life on Earth. So you
I've
get to
noticed
choose.
something. I've noticed something here.
I do
Listen,
nothing, man. You
No.
know what I mean? While everybody else is in there dancing with fucking heels around their head, like, you know what I mean? You
Listen.
have to eat the fucking mouse.
I just noticed
Heaven
something
looks
here.
like XOX in a night out.
Here,
What?
I've noticed something here. Jordan's just after saying you're at the top of the food chain compared to the mouse. Now,
Mhm.
what does that mean? He believes in a society that has different tiers rather than everyone being equal.
No, I'm just
Holy
talking
shit,
about
that's a good point.
You know what I mean? I'm talking about it in a statistic figure. I don't mean it figuratively. I mean it statistically.
But
You mean
aren't the rules statistics based on
No,
how much you
but, like,
interact and how
no,
much trust you
listen.
have?
No, life teaches us, right, that there's levels to the game. Do you know what I mean? There's us, and then there's like there's like a tiger, and then there's like a crocodile, and then there's like a fucking monkey, and then there's a bird, and then a mouse. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you know what I
Maybe
mean?
just
Yeah.
call monkey. This man has to support rats. He's got holes in the wall. He loves
Exactly.
Ratatouille. He fucking looks like him.
But listen, here,
Show the rat hole.
you believe on a different level, but there's this one story I always remember, or this one animal. It's a bird, and that bird gains from the crocodile, and the crocodile gains from the bird because that bird cleans the alligator's mouth or crocodile's mouth, and it chooses not to eat it because it stops from rotting its teeth. Now,
I'm sorry, but what was the original question? I'm very lost.
same.
Well, the original question was, I'll get back to the fucking
Oh,
what you
was it
call
there's a
it.
glory hole in the background and we're talking
no.
about it?
If you died and seen the pearly gates of heaven, but St. Peter said to get into heaven you need to eat this live mouse, and he handed it to you, how would you react? And what would you do?
Is this not the question from Peter's game? Oh, is this not covered?
Of course, RT doesn't know what's going on.
The RTE, of course, behind on things. But
Behind on
As
everything,
usual.
my friend.
As
But,
usual, bike up Channel 5.
Always
bike up
supporting the
Channel 5.
wrong side.
Korea
Love
television,
Jordan.
of course, North Korean television always ahead of the game here, boys.
That's
but
because
the
your
next
game's online, you
question-
Squid Game looking fuck.
Speaking of the next game, you will be shot for your crimes. The next thing of games we speak. The next question includes a game.
Fuck.
And I forgot it already because I'm stupid.
Mario
Hold
Kart.
on a wee second.
Just like a
Pretty
Korean.
much a game. The game of survival. Because the next question is, what would you do if aliens invaded? Christopher,
Oh, thank
floor's
you.
yours.
See, if I invaded, nah, I just fucked up. Anyway,
Right, okay.
Anyway,
No.
nah.
No. Get him going. Get him going.
We could have.
What kind of president can't even
Christopher?
speak?
Well, I'm sorry.
Joe hosts a Korean who can't even see.
Anyway, so if aliens invaded, friendly, same as a democratic policy. Why treat them differently when they're coming down to us?
Well, I think in the question it already answers that with this. It's an invasion. They invade. They don't just appear.
Close the borders.
So the
I'd like to
aliens
get-
have
I'd
now
like to
declared
add
war on
my-
us.
Listen.
What is your reaction?
Build a space wall.
Build the wall. Woo. Oh, wait. Wrong guy. Wrong
That's
key.
my
Space
president.
war.
Make the aliens pay for it all.
Even the glorious leader of my lovely nation hasn't thought of such things. Clever idea.
Thank you.
No to Nelsie. See what he.
That's because he starves his people.
To be honest, right?
Western propaganda.
If the aliens invaded this Earth, I'd probably let the aliens just invade the place, right? Just to see what they do. I'd hide obviously about the place.
Yeah.
Just to, no,
We
just
like a
hear
good
me out,
pussy
strategy. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Hide in the walls.
No, hear me out, right?
Start the
I would
E2.
just observe the bastards for about 10 years, right? And then I would see which one's a female and fuck it.
You will be here for 10 years.
That's my
That
president.
way then.
From an alien invasion to interspecies breeding,
Yeah,
we've gone a long
exactly.
way.
Exactly. If you know what I mean, just to see if that bitch comes out of win, and then we can
Boys,
show
I'm starting to struggle to support this.
You know what I mean?
Like,
Like,
even
boys.
RTE is struggling.
Boys,
you might
listen,
as well.
I have a
You
question.
might as well fuck it.
The
You might
RT
as
doesn't
well.
stand for anything,
Here.
though. That's the thing.
Jordan, I have a question for you. What if she's a stinker?
It doesn't matter. Any hole's a goal.
In the name of science.
Ah,
Any hole's a goal. Any hole's a goal in the name of science.
Oh my
that's
god.
been put up
You're
in
talking about what's the wrong hole? The guy's got holes in his wall.
Any hole's a
Hey,
goal.
Willie, these are
Goes from the
cotton
plastic glory hole back there, boys. Now don't go on the hole.
These are
This is
cotton
never making it to
guys.
YouTube, is it? Korean television. Back to the debate at hand. The
Are you
discussion.
gonna
The
starve this thing?
questions. The hard questions. The next one is coming from Snapchat. Somebody with a fucking pancake
No.
Does your president shit?
background. There's a few quick-fire ones. We'll go through these ones. Are you on a list?
Of
Any list?
yes, I'm on a kill list from the area.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm going.
The RTE supports that.
Christopher, are you on any lists?
No, I'm not.
He's on Epstein's list.
No,
He's
I'm
on
not.
Epstein's
Epstein's
list.
list.
I
No.
fucking knew it by
Can you get
looking
me
at
a
him.
link
I
inside,
knew it by
boys?
looking at him.
I'm a farmer.
Can you get me a link
I'm
inside?
Epstein's Island.
He's on
Fucking
Epstein's list. I could come
Boys,
Do you know
up
the
with
do you know the
Boys,
knock?
boys, I'm a farmer. I was growing the plants.
That
What
makes
does
it even
Stephen
worse.
Hawkins look like?
Huh?
No,
Oh my
the-
god. Hawking Stephen, lad.
Bebop, bebop. Am I right, my guy?
No.
It seems like
Yes,
we're
man.
taking an advertisement break. Back now with the debate from earlier. We have some questions for the candidates left before we end this debate. We have some quick fire ones. The other ones are some rather deep questions. These ones are going to be rather quick because I can't be fucked. We have some questions here of... The first one is, where do you keep your toaster? We'll start with Nelson. Where
I
do you
keep
keep the toaster?
on the counter. So are they
On the countertop.
on the counter top.
Christopher?
On the counter next to the kettle.
Next to the kettle.
Get a quick cup of tea and a wee bit of toast.
I have mine next to the kettle and then a blender beside it and a block of knives.
Get him out.
Plenty there. Plenty there. A
Yeah,
man of
yeah.
means.
If we're going depth
In
here,
what
real quick,
way?
if we're going depth cook here, air fryer next to it as well.
Aye, well we've got 2 air fryers and they're like R2D2, so fuck you. I will actually show you the air fryers too, and they're actually mad.
Here, send them me after this here. I'll put them in the. I'll put them. Cut them in the
I
video. I'll cut them in
yeah,
the video.
clip 'em in.
See these 2 air
Clip-
fryers, man, they're mad.
Clip my dad. The next question is, what way do you cut your toast?
Triangles.
Triangles.
2 men very similar. You'd almost think they were related. What foot do you kick with?
Right.
Me right.
2 right footies. No lefties.
It's
No
not like that.
lefties. My left hand, see my left hand though, my left punches a lot better than my right. But I'm right-handed.
You can draw with one hand and knock you out with the other. Happy days.
Yes.
Church off.
Speaking of that, You're not left or right-handed. Which foot do you kick with?
You asked that.
My right foot.
You asked that, Josh. Will you?
Shit. Don't do drugs, kids. And now the next question is quite an important one now. Derry or Londonderry?
Derry.
Derry.
Fucking Nora.
Dora. That's right, Dora.
Nora.
Dora.
And the last question for this entire lovely debate that we've had, where we've got to explore many different aspects of the two candidates. Get the fucking... Was 9/11 an inside job?
Yes.
It was. I have one extra question here.
Crash and burn.
Jordan, do you
What?
support the South?
Of course I do.
Right. How do you say tea and sugar in Irish? Gaeilge.
I don't know.
Tea agus sugar.
Aye.
He's proven his Republican
Okay,
credentials.
Okay, or la.
I have
Or
one
tea
more
or
question,
Tom?
boys, from the
We
sideline,
have
from the
a question
sidelines.
from the
One
sideline.
last question.
Go ahead.
What is your opinion on the Korean government?
It is the best government ever.
My phone
Right,
is
Jordan lost
actually
my vote.
in similar places.
And I think with such a great piece
Up
of propaganda
indoctrination.
that we will clip and play to our people for all eternity, we
You
can
mean edit?
finally end this discussion.
It was a pleasure, Josh.
It was a pleasure, my
It was a
friend.
pleasure with the two candidates here, one of which will soon become our glorious president.